the pool. Nothing grows in it. No problem. Look up phenol. Google it. Not good stuff. Natural, yes it is. It's a wood breaking down related to the creosotes. Not good stuff. Caustic to your skin. Okay, so, all right. Oh, psychedelic. It's one of my nice pictures. Isn't it interesting? The phenol stew, close up. You want to drink some? Anybody want to try it? Huh?
Why would you want anybody to drink something like that?
This
I
is
can't
what
understand why you're saying something like that.
This is what could.
That you wouldn't drink anything that was just sitting there in a puddle,
Oh, of course,
like out
I
in your
always go. I
backyard.
used to
The
go on
leaves
that mountain
and all
every time
that
and drink
were
the wild water.
fermented.
Every time. I
What'd
don't
you
drink
say?
it. Every time when I would go on that mountain, I would drink the water right out of the stream.
You are not supposed to drink water.
What do you mean?
You're supposed to
Who's
filter it in the Adirondacks.
Why?
Well, wherever you're anybody, you're not
I've never,
supposed to
since
drink
I'm
water.
a kid, I have drank wild water. You know, sometimes.
Did you say well water?
Huh?
Well water?
We have a spring-fed well.
That's fine, but
Why?
this is not well water.
Well, no, that stuff isn't anymore. I wouldn't drink that. I won't drink any of the streams on that mountain anymore.
He's saying that
I
because
used
the
to all the time.
officials suggested that
They told me.
it was okay and
It's
safe.
safe. You can drink that stuff.
You don't believe that, do you?
Never. I've never got jarred in any kind of problem. Now, people say maybe you're lucky, right? People give me a lot of trouble about, go to the Grand Canyon, Daisy's Paradise water. I wish I could figure out how to bring that stuff home, right? I don't filter it, and they say, why would you take the risk? Because of the taste. I love the way wild water tastes. The minerals is what gives the water character. So, okay. Mike Fernier, the media, trying to get the media's attention, because they love this stuff. It was so hard to get the media to listen to us. They came there, we ended up like with this little snippet here, and I will say this, they didn't make us look like idiots, okay? But it was not in the effort to fair reporting, they bent over backwards to side with the Iberdrola story. So anyways, I may be famous one of these days, you never know, but okay, Ben Downing, in the state Massachusetts legislature, okay? This guy didn't re-up, he didn't run for election this year. He happens to be, he's the marketing, he's the head honcho for marketing for, guess who? A renewable energy company. He came to us. He said, I am concerned for you. We asked him questions, and he said, well, honestly, I don't have the answers to those questions, but I promise. He told us, quote, I promise I will research this and I will get back to you. I have written this man many times. Nothing. In fact, you know what? One time I called up his office and talked with his legal person and to complain about the noise and the water situation. And she said, Christina Fisher is her name. And she said, oh, by the way, Mr. Lorusso, Iberdrola asked me to inform you that you are trespassing. And I saw red. I said, who are you working for? He said, you must be working for Iberdrola. Are you listening to me? He said, my neighbors and I, we have problems. Okay, I'm going to talk about it. So the physical, the problems that my neighbors and I have now. But anyway, so we got him out too. So here's a tough thing. Jack Alexander. Jack Alexander was a good man, and he lived at ground zero, 1,700 feet from the nearest turbine, in his backyard. He had a bunch of them right there. And here's this guy, loved to be outdoors. And the thing is, he couldn't enjoy his backyard anymore. Okay? And I kept saying, so the neighbors complained about the sound. Okay? Finally, they decided, okay, we are going to do a sound study, okay? This is where my contact with Neil Habib is an employee of Iberdrola, okay? I call him a hatchet man. So his job was to interface with me because I'm a rabble-rouser. I've become a community, whatever, activist. I'm a wing warrior out of this. I don't want to be. I'm reluctant, but I can't help it. So the thing is, I became active in, okay, we want a sound test, okay? And I have been all around this project. I know the most impacted properties. Jack Alexander, by far, was the most impacted property around Hoosac. I kept saying, so Neil kept saying, well, you're complaining about this. We want to test at your house. And I said, honestly, Neil, we are impacted, but we are nowhere near the worst impacted property. And you tell me you're going to have 5 properties that are going to be tested, and I said they should be at the 5 most impacted properties. I gave them the address. I know where they are. Jack Alexander said the first one you should be monitoring for a sound test would be Jack Alexander. Well, they were scared because they would have been skunked so bad at his house. Okay? So the story is, Jack Alexander, the last time I talked with that man, he said, Larry, he said, I can't take it anymore. And he said, I don't know what to do. The last words is something is going to happen. So I didn't go there for a while, and then I got the news. Jack Alexander committed suicide. And I know Hoosac had a direct role. Now, it wasn't the only thing in Jack's life that may have led to that thing. But I'm telling you, Jack died because of Iberdrola, Mass DEP, this man here. So I got him there. And he went there and he listened to the interpreters, and he was shaking his head no. He said, we would go to Jack's house, and we would go there and we were going, our jaws would be dropped open. So one time we went there with the news crew there, 65 dBA. That's loud, right? That's really loud. That's what Jack lived with, and he couldn't take it. So, okay, Jack. Oh, the sound test.
Decibels that are
Sound test.
auditory.
Oh, well, I have to give these people, they're geniuses. They're so creative. How they can look like they are doing their jobs, but not do it. So the thing about it is somehow the protocol is for ambient sound. So anybody know what ambient sound is? Ambient sound. It's the sound that's before or without the turbines. They have it in the protocol. They only have to shut off 7 turbines. There's 3 more on my side. So when they're doing the so-called ambient measurements, so maybe you don't understand it, but they have every angle. So they're doing the sound test, okay? But they have every trick in the book. Leave 3 turbines on, right? And so here's the thing. I can tell you, when those 3 turbines are on, you can hear them. It's not ambient sound. In my locale, I know. It's quiet. Man, we're in a rural area, right? Not unlike your area here, you know. 21 dBA, right? It's not unheard of as far as what the sound. This is why, in part, I moved there. The quiet, natural sound. Sure, we got the planes, but they're gone. You can even hear the train miles away, but the train goes. The difference with the turbines is that they can go on days on end. Days on end. So, scams. Okay, there's the maps.
Excuse me, Larry, is that why Iberdrola has their detection system pointed at a snowmobile trail? So they can get that as
Oh,
their
they're
ambient
genius.
level?
Right, because what they're going to do, they're no audio recording, right? It's peaks, and so they're going to average the sound over a period of time. And guess what? And why are those microphones aimed towards the trails? Beautiful, beautiful. And so they're going to do the ambient. So here's my advice about that. My advice to you folks: put the hat out, put money in it, hire your own sound people, because that's the only way you're going to get a fair and accurate test. And this is to say, is if the project goes in, because it will help. It's not going to help you now, but if that project, because they're going to play all the games. So here's a map. You can see the X. That's where Jack Alexander's property is. So you can see there is nobody closer. They wouldn't take the measurements there. Okay, the measurements they did take were three of them were, so two of them were, one was George Burns, our legally deaf neighbor, who ended up taking the money. So they have, Iberdrola has this thing, it's called a good neighbor policy. And it's a gag order. It's obscene the low amount of money that they attempt to bribe people, okay? And so, and some of them, they started off, well, we'll give you down payment of $2,000, and we'll give you annual payments of, I think it was $2,000 a year, okay? And so the thing about those payments, it's not gonna help you. And we'll get into the property values and that stuff. So my neighbor Phyllis, she put in those beautiful windows, and you can't really see it here because I used a wide-angle lens, but those are the turbines. So she put in these beautiful windows, and that's what she got. The Hoosac window on there. Oh, and it would get her so angry. Phyllis was a feisty. She's dead now of cancer, and kind of quickly. It was interesting, but so they did test at Phyllis's house, okay? And here's the thing. Oh, I laughed. So the thing is that she called me up and said they came today and they installed the equipment. So I'm in the back of in the backyard looking in the field, and I'm looking for the equipment where it should be, facing out towards the. And it's I couldn't find it. I said I could see the tracks to the house, up to the house, but and then I followed the tracks in the snow. They put the sound equipment behind these cedar trees. Beautiful. How I give them a gold star for creativity, as how you can make it look like you're doing your job, but not. And so I laughed. I laughed because it's like you put it there, but okay. So and that was the conceit. My other neighbor, they put them in the woods when there was not too far away, clear, open shot. And this is what the acousticians told me, is direct line of sight. You put your equipment in direct line of sight because trees do deflect the sound waves. And one of the things here in Mass is they DBA. So there's many different sound scales. DBA was come up by the wind industry because it's the one that's least sensitive to the big parts of energy in sound waves. The low frequency. Ever seen the kids going by with the boom, and you can hear the bass. You're not hearing the cymbals or any of that. Those frequencies. It's the low frequencies, the long waves that travel a long way. And the infrasound, bad stuff. Weird things happen. So I was going to leave this at end, but I'm going to spill it right now. What you saw, what you were seeing here, not the worst of it. Bad for me to see them what they did to the enchanted forest. Bad. You saw them. I keep getting broken up. What you hear, okay? The joke at our house has always been, if the house catches fire, I'm going to burn because I sleep so soundly. There are many times when I can't sleep in my own bedroom because of that, the noise, okay? But the noise, as bad as it is, sometimes it'll be like several nights in a row. I don't get any sleep. I get crabby, right? And the thing about it is, you can't sleep. But it's not what you see or hear. It's what you feel. There are sometimes I can feel my body throbbing. And I'll tell you what it is. When you have multiple turbines, it is the most unnatural disturbing sound because it's not even. It's not like boom, 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 boom. It's whoop, 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 whoop. And there's no natural rhythm to it. It bugs you. And I try, and what happens is, as time goes on, you get more and more sensitive, in tune with this noise. And it's not, so I've slept right close to big, huge rapids and had some of the best sleeps of my life. And noisy, but it's a natural, like being at the ocean, hearing the wind blow through the trees. Beautiful sound, right? Thunder, right? Might wake you up, but then you're going to go back to sleep. With the turbines, you don't go back to sleep. So I hope you get that. It's what you feel. That's the worst thing. You're like in your house, becomes like a drum, and you're inside. So there, they could have put the equipment in the open. You can see turbines. No, they're smart. They're smart. Don't ever underestimate them. Okay, one of my on Crum Hill, my scenic shot. Aren't they pretty? Yes. Okay. Jack Alexander's house, ground zero. So I'm going to introduce you to somebody here. Irving and Rod, nice people. Irving, the house that you see behind, his dad built, he's lived in that house most of his life. And so when Hoosac went online, Irving and Ross began having intense headaches. So that's one of the things. If that project goes in and you are too close, expect headaches. But that's the easy part, you know? It's the easy part. Their cat, he was saying that like their cat would go nuts from the sound. So Irving complained, and Iberdrola showed up with the good neighbor. And so they started off at $2,000, you know, and he said, no. So he came back, oh, we'll pay $4,000, you know. And he's like, no. And